What's up, beautiful people? Happy Sunday. Welcome to your energy report for the week. Back with you guys. So I already have some cards laid out. Happy winter solstice. We are going to talk a little bit about December 21st, right? The Great Conjunction, things that are happening there, but most importantly, just the energy that we're working with this week that is going to take us into the new year, right? So the energy of the week is the software update. The Great Negro Solstice, as our lovely friends have so lovingly named this December 21st, right? The software update, right? Everybody's talking about getting powers, but really, it's more so about reprogramming ourselves because we're no longer identifying with our past, identifying with old stories. And that's further magnified with this mirror card, right? Really looking within. And I've told you guys this before on previous videos, that Sagittarius season was about new visions, right? Sagittarius season is about new visions. Hey, what's up to my Sagittarius that just popped in here? What's up, Sade? So Sagittarius season is about new visions, but in order to truly have the clarity and the sort of kind of believing in the impossible, right? Because Sagittarius is our centaurs, right? They're literally mystical creatures that do not exist, right? And so in order to dream up something so absurd, right, we have to do some things before we can really dream that big. And part of what we need to do for the self is forgiveness. The card that I pulled during a personal reading was I'm sorry. And I asked her, like, what do I need to do for myself? And it said, the card I pulled was I'm sorry. So I literally was telling myself, I'm so sorry for betraying us. I'm so sorry for, I literally told myself all the things that I'm sorry for doing to myself, the things that I allowed, the dynamics I continued that I knew were no good for me, right? Staying in jobs that I knew were dishonoring me. Forgiving, what else did I write here? I'm sorry for admitting when I did not know, right? When I just tried to force myself into situations, but it was like, girl, you didn't know what to do and you should have just sat there and chilled, right? So all of these things. I'm sorry for acting on insecurity when there was love present. I said, I'm sorry for believing I was not enough. It's caused me so much anxiety and debilitation. We know better now. Again, I said, I'm sorry for acting on insecurities and pushing love out. Right? Because when we act on insecurities, we're often pushing love out, right? We're letting fear into the situation instead of love, right? So in order to have new visions, we need to tell ourselves that we are sorry and then commit to doing everything better. So then after that, I wrote these pages of all the new patterns that I have. I'm like, I have a pattern of attracting X, Y, and Z. I have a pattern of listening to my intuition and trusting. I have a pattern of having faith, right? All of these things. Now I'm speaking that into myself. Not as if I want to have those patterns, but like, no. Right now, I have those patterns, right? Because I've forgiven myself for all that I did before, I now have a pattern of this, right? There is no waiting, like we're just in the new timeline already, right? So we're pushing through this last bit of adversity, this inner conflict with the self, right? The parasitic energy that's being held in our body because we've starved ourselves for so long of our greatness. We've starved ourselves of our intuitive knowing. We've starved ourselves so much so that we think that right? That's the shadow work, right? And the shadow, people have said this before, right? The shadow isn't necessarily the ugly parts of you, it's the forgotten parts of you. And those forgotten parts are now parasitic because they're starving. The real parts of you are starving for expression. Whew. Yes. Yes, amen and ashe. There is something in the temple of your body that wants expression. And as soon as we love those parts of ourselves and say, I'm so sorry for denying you the expression that we so deserve, that we were put here for, right? As soon as we get through that adversity and we forgive ourselves, abundance. I told you guys, it's not even like I'm kind of reframing my language and not saying I will. It's like, I have it already, right? So that abundance mindset, right? Reframing our language, which I will be having a beautiful workshop hosted with Haji Healing, where we're going to be talking about reframing harmful language about ourselves on January 1st. I will get y'all I'll get y'all the details on that a little later. But abundance mindset, right? And then we've got tenacity right after that. So abundance mindset, and then being convinced and convicted, like that's the life for us, right? That these new visions, right? After the forgiveness, we can now dream up the life that we want, because we're now in an abundance mindset. And so, right, like anything that I can have, anything that I want type of energy. That's what we're on, okay? So yeah, hey, Shada said, oof, call me out. Hey, y'all. So yes, and then under tenacity was action, okay? I'm saying just forgive yourself. Forgive yourself, because now we about that action, okay? We're really about that action. Let's see what else. I truly feel like that was enough. To be honest with Spirit, do you have anything else for us? Feel like the word was spoken already. Spirit already came through. Six of Wands, love it. I told y'all, but like it's there already. As soon as you choose to let go of the old timeline, right? We need to stop identifying with the mishaps. We need to stop identifying with the failed relationships, the failed businesses, the failed partnerships, right? Business, platonic or otherwise. Yeah, it's time to get, yes, ooh, 2 6s too. So we got the Six of Wands, the Hermit, and then the Six of Pentacles. I love. So yeah, creative victory, right? Victory in our passion projects. There is a sort of, right, it is winter solstice, right? So there is this sort of softness. There is this sort of reclusiveness, right? With the Hermit here. This abundance mindset happens in our isolation, right? Reframing our language happens in our isolation, right? It's not about perfection, it's about loving self-correction, I've said. That happens when you're alone, right? I started telling my dad about my tarot business and my intuitive readings and my Reiki. Hey, Ann, I've started to tell him about this, and I was like, oh, my little, and I was like, I'm sorry, it's not little, right? Those little things, that matters. So I correct myself in private, and then when I do that, I correct myself when I'm in other dynamics with other people, right? And then we're able to, once we are in that abundance mindset, when we're self-correcting alone, we're able to give in such a beautiful way. Hold on, tell me more about the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles is about having cultivated some security in self, so much so that you can now share with others, right? Tell me more about the Six of Pentacles, Spirit. Right? This mirror again, I'm seeing, right? When we can truly see ourselves, when we can truly see the power in ourselves, when we can start to speak love and power into ourselves, it's so much easier for us to do that for others. So by being in full harmony with ourselves, by coming into ourselves and accepting all those parts of us, right? That parasitic part of you, right? The parts of you that has been starved, right? Once you make peace and you apologize and you have forgiveness with that relationship, right? Your inner child, whatever you want to call it, your shadow. Once you make peace with that, you're able to give from such a beautiful place. Yeah, because you know what it means, right? You know what it means to not believe in yourself. You know what it means to dishonor yourself. You know what it means to not listen to your first mind, right? Like, that's why I'm able to sit across from people in my tarot readings and I'm like, I know. I know exactly what you're going through, right? Absolving ourselves. Okay, Spirit wants me to share this with you. So in my Cosmic Sexuality course, there's this, basically, I don't even, like a manifesto, I don't know what to call it, but in it, I don't want to say it wrong, y'all. No thing can exist incomplete. Okay. No thing in this world can exist incomplete. That means you are whole already. You are perfect already, right? That shadow part of you that you're ignoring, that's part of you, and that's a part of you, and that makes you complete. Okay? So you are not incomplete. And I brought that up because we have the Four of Wands here. So if anybody is trying to bring in divine partnership, right, there's this feeling of I am already whole, right? I am not incomplete without you. I am complete already. And when there is actually cosmic sexuality course said this too. Hold on. It said when two becomes one within you, all will become one outside of you. I'm going to say that again. When two becomes one within you, all becomes one outside of you, right? So there's this, again, this sort of loving, radical self-acceptance that you do, right? That is when you become one within you. When you accept your masculine and feminine, when you accept your shadow and your light, when you accept your child and your God and your adult, right? When you accept all these conflicting parts of you, when you accept the fact that you sometimes are a contradiction, right? When two becomes one within you, all becomes one outside of you. And what that means for me is that all of it starts to come together. Everything starts to fall into place. You start to find your community. You start to find your lover. You start to make peace with your parents. Money starts to flow in, right? Abundance is never just money. For me, this came up in one of my readings last year. I was like, abundance is just abundance, right? So it doesn't just touch one area of your life, right? So all becomes one outside of you. All becomes harmonious outside of you when all becomes harmonious within you. All right. So this week is about the software updates, downloading from the universe, getting quiet, and looking at yourself in the mirror, having some loving acceptance, and then immediately going into that abundance mindset that you have all that you need, that you now have patterns of healthy patterns, right? Stop thinking about all those. I'm really trying to be careful not to speak in negatives. Like, what's the example I can give you guys? Talking about what I don't want, right? Things like that. Like, I'm not using that language. What I'm doing is like, I have a pattern of abundance, or I have a pattern of finding money. I have a pattern of things just working out in my favor. Like, I have a pattern of luck, whatever, right? So reframing our language so that it is empowering, so that it is in the positive, right? And then being tenacious. You guys have to be tenacious. You guys have to be deliberate with your actions, your thoughts, your words, and your energy. That's what tenacity is saying with me. I am not a victim to anything happening outside of me because I am deliberate with my words, my thoughts, my energy, and my action, okay? And I'm gonna leave it right there. All right. Yes, thank you, Anne. Thank you for the affirmation. Yes, when two becomes one within you, all becomes one outside of you. All becomes harmonious outside of you. Thank you guys so much. This has probably been longer than most of my other weekly readings, but I hope that it has helped you. And so much love to you guys. Talk to you next week.